So, what happens when you have someone which tries to make a video about someone, but at the end of the day doesn't really make a video about someone, but ends up making a bunch of bad takes, and on top of that ends up trying to double down when they get criticized on top of that? Well, you have someone by the name of Saviour 3.0. Now, in this video, I'm pretty much just going to be responding to his one terrible video on sensitive society, and I'm just pretty much going to be trying to criticize him for that video specifically. And just to make this clear, just because I'm making this video on this guy does not necessarily mean that I have anything towards him or that I hate him. It's just that when it comes to his video in particular, I just think it was garbage because it seems like he had little to no thought that was actually put in it. So, let's get into the video.
Hey boys, I'm gonna be talking about sensitive society, okay? He's another YouTuber, okay? And as you know, I hate YouTube drama. I don't start YouTube drama. I've been in YouTube drama. I don't like it. I don't think it's I don't think YouTube drama is constructive to the YouTuber space, okay? It doesn't help channels.
I'm sorry to break this to you, but I think you're kind of confusing commentary with all drama, which is, yes, one thing which kind of associates one with the other, but you fail to realize that commentary in criticizing someone can be actually useful. If you're criticizing someone in a genuine way and giving constructive criticism, someone could take that criticism to heart and change their channel for the better themselves as a content creator and as a person. And on top of that, when it comes to the platform, if it weren't for commentary, many of the disgusting individuals on this platform, such as Mini Lad, would be able to get away with the stuff which he did without anyone really knowing. So I'm just making that clear right there and then.
Back in the old days, YouTubers would actually collab and help each other, but now it's all about drama and basically causing problems between other creators and going after people when something's happened, when there's allegations, even though there's no evidence, and it's just a toxic environment to be in. And it's just so sad that YouTubers have fallen into this mindset because it's the same as the mainstream media, and we're trying to be better than the mainstream media. We're trying to be, independent media. We're not trying to fall into the same disgusting clickbaity trash that the mainstream media does. But sadly, maybe that's just my standards, but a lot of YouTubers are scumbag reptiles, okay?
So I'm not sure about you guys, but it sounds like this guy is just grasping at straws just to make a point. People still make collabs. People still help each other on YouTube, and YouTube is not 100% drama. Now, of course, if you just watch nothing but commentary videos all day about how, oh no, this person did this and how this person did that, then yeah, that may be the case for you, but considering the grand scheme of things and just looking at YouTube nowadays, nah, that's not really what YouTube is like. And on top of that, if you're seriously trying to generalize an entire community just because you've probably seen probably the same 500 or 10 topic commentators talk about probably the same thing or just talk about someone, that I think you're being a bit biased and haven't looked a bit deep enough, because many commentators don't particularly look into drama specifically and they tend to be a bit more experimental. And on top of that, if you're seriously trying to compare people talking about the current drama and allegations to news outlets, then I think you're a bit lost right there, buddy, because they're two completely different things. And considering the way how people talk about them in YouTube videos compared to the news, yeah, that's a big yikes.
Okay? And they feed off the drama. That's how they get their sustenance. And it's so scummy, it's so low effort. I don't understand how they go to sleep at night. I guess it's because they've got money and that's all that matters. But to me, making good content, making content that matters.
Wow, this guy is still generalizing the entire commentary community based off the same 10 topic commentators that he probably watched in, I don't know, probably a couple of hours or in a couple of minutes before he made this video. When I'm just gonna say this, dude, not everyone makes videos on drama when it comes to the commentary community, and people tend to be more experimental considering about what they do. So I think that trying to base whatever someone says off of drama specifically is pretty stupid. And on top of that, are you seriously trying to play the moral police game and say, oh, how can people sleep at night when it comes to stuff like this? Dude, it's not that deep. People will chase the bag and gain views however they can and will find their own style of making content. So just in the way how you say how you make music videos and gaming videos and philosophical videos and whatever other shit that you make, people will do the same when it comes to them and their content. So I don't really get what's so bad about that in all honesty, but of course I'll continue on and let you have your own argument.
But these people, all they do is talk crap about other people. I mean, it's so destructive and such a toxic behavior to have, because they don't know these people. You can't ever talk smack about someone unless if you know them personally. If there's actual enough real evidence that someone is basically a goddamn demon, okay, then yes, that's different, okay? And obviously, anyone who is a complete scumbag, if there's enough actual evidence that someone is basically a horrible person, then I think it's fair enough to criticize that person and talk about that person's character. But, you know, unless if you know them 100% or there's enough evidence online showing how evil they are, and, you know, I've done this before, talking about, you know, the heads of these big corporations and companies, because there's enough evidence to go on showing that these people are corrupt. But when you're just going after other YouTubers for something so petty and small and a little tiny bit of drama so you can get that ad revenue, it's just so scummy to me.
Now, for one thing, I can agree with him on something, which is the fact that you can't judge someone's entire personality or character based off of one cringy thing which they did, because let's be real, we all fuck up on the internet and do something cringy, but at the same time, that doesn't really exempt you from criticism. And if there's another thing which I want to add on, because I'm not really sure if it's just me, it has to be the fact that he keeps comparing corporations to just YouTubers talking about things. Because I'm not sure about you guys, but I feel like it's one thing when Jimmy in his bedroom is making fun of someone on the internet for doing something cringy on TikTok, compared to a corporation to doing something that's probably legitimately horrible. But I'm not sure about you guys, but I think that's just me.
So, like I said, there's plenty of these no face cam YouTubers, and first of all, never showing your face in a YouTube video, okay? To me, that just screams, I'm a coward, okay? I'm such a coward. Please don't come after me. I might hide behind a microphone. You're basically a keyboard warrior if you don't ever show your face or share who you are, your identity, because basically what that means, or what you're saying to me, is you don't stand by anything that you say, or you might stand behind it, but you're too afraid to actually take the consequences of what you're saying. In other words, you're a coward.
So let me get this straight. So you're trying to tell me that someone's a coward and someone's not willing to take accountability or the consequences for their actions, all because they're not showing their face on the internet. Even though you could still be held for even though you could still be a coward if you show your face on the internet, and on top of that, you could still be held responsible for your actions if you decide to not show your face on the internet. I'm sorry, but where the fuck did this logic come from? Like, in all honesty, this has to be one of the most uneducated things which I've heard from you. And trust me, guys, it gets worse.
These half-baked commentary channels, okay, and I'm so tired of them. There's a dime a dozen now, and all that they do, okay, is they talk about someone on TikTok. Ooh, this girl's a little bit weird, she's on TikTok. This woman said a bad tweet. Wow, this is the worst TikToker ever. This is the worst person ever. What a disgusting human being, okay? This person said what on Twitter? Duh. Duh. It's the most low-brow type of content that you can find on YouTube, okay? They're literally just going after people on social media, people who aren't public speakers or whatever you want to call them, online entertainers. They don't have an audience is what I'm trying to say, okay? Just normal people being idiots, or going after sometimes people with an audience like TikTok or other YouTubers, going after them because of said allegations that haven't actually been proven. Until something's proven, like I said, I feel like it's completely pointless just spreading rumors about people, and it just spreads this idea, like the mainstream media does, of this tabloid journalism, biased and clickbaity, and just going after people and attacking people.
So, I'm sorry, but what are you exactly talking about? Are you talking about allegations or people making fun of other people on the internet? Because you're just kind of starting to switch in between the two just for the sake of switching in between the two. You should try and stay focused when you're at least trying to criticize someone or at least trying to talk about someone on the internet, but I think it's pretty clear that you kind of have no idea about what you're talking about.
Is different about Sensitive Society, and why I think he is one of the worst commentary channels out there is because, unlike others, he has such a huge ego. For some reason, this guy seems to think he's the gift of God, and just because he has a subscriber count, somehow he's Jesus reincarnated, and it's just so cringeworthy to watch because it's just really sad to see. He's so obviously so caught up in this idea that fame equals happiness and money will just make you 100% a better person.
Now, I will agree when it comes to a couple of points which you made up against Sensitive Society about him not really having the greatest takes ever, as they're a bit generic, and as he kind of tends to do things which many other commentators do. But it would be a bit nice if you could show me a bit of evidence about him being egotistical and him talking about his fame and all stuff like that. Because, it's kind of essential when you're trying to criticize someone so people can understand where you're coming from. Just a little point which I wanted to bring up there.
And he's obviously a very shallow person, very judgmental, doesn't actually dive into the bigger picture of things, just gives the same old opinions that everyone has, just simply states something for what it is instead of why it is. And I just hate that in these commentary channels. There's so many of them, they're a dime a dozen, and it's just terrible in my opinion.
Now, that last statement I can agree with and I can honestly relate to, as a lot of the time, many channels tend to not really give a really unique perspective on things and tend to kind of be pretty generic in the grand scheme of things. But, in all honesty, if I were just to be honest with this video is a mix of having some pretty decent points, right? And having some pretty bad ones, in all honesty. Because I feel like, yes, this guy has the ability to make a pretty good argument, and he can make a pretty good argument and can actually criticize. But half of the time, he will barely manage to criticize someone and will just be using these straw man arguments or just some plain bad arguments against someone just for the sake of doing so and for the sake of trying to criticize someone. Now, as I said before, I don't have anything against this guy, but I do feel like this video could have been a lot more better if you brought up actual points against Sensitive Society instead of just, I don't know, picking at certain points or just picking at certain things just to try and get a point across, which honestly sucked. But that's all I have to say, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's all, and Level 360 out. I will see you in another video coming soon, and that's all, folks. Later.